So what I wanted to do, I thought maybe you'd want a little bit of a case study, talking about what we've done, because we've made a lot of changes in our business the last 2 years. We've actually increased our retention from in the region of about 40 to 79%. So it has made a difference to retention. We are getting some more referrals from clients now, and it's still work in progress. So I wanted to just share that with you if it's helpful. So essentially, when we all got sent into lockdown 2 years ago, do you remember that moment? I don't think we'll ever forget. And a lot of clients called in, and rightly so, really worried, and decided to hold and stuff like that. Thankfully we did save some, but I had a bit more time really. So I decided to read the Referral Engine, and just never looked back, because I found the book really useful, and we actually made changes, on the basis of his recommendations. So what I've done is I'm going to talk a little bit about the book, and what it's about, but also then show how we made those changes in our business. So, it might be helpful in terms of an example of things that you could do yourselves. So the Referral Engine is basically what he's saying is these are the key messages for him. So he is saying that human beings are actually there to make referrals, and it's actually something we use as a form of survival. So if you look at it in past times, people needed to know where to go to hunt and where to go to get good wood, and so that's kind of how it's developed in society, as a social skill to refer others and to use your knowledge and share it. So people really enjoy it. They really enjoy actually being able to help others and being able to sort of share with them what they know and people they know, etc. So it is something to remember, because I think the first stumbling block, as John, I can't say his surname, so you're going to have to forgive me. How he says in his book that the main stumbling block is that we are too worried about asking for referrals, because we're worried about asking our clients for something. We think they're going to say no. So bear these in mind. It's quite important. Another one that I absolutely love, and it is inspired by Seth Godin, is about boring businesses. So nobody actually wants to talk about a boring business. So if your business is nothing that people can talk about with excitement, then that might be a stumbling block for them to go and talk about you. And obviously, like Grant already said, consistency builds trust. So consistency in over delivering, in delivery of service, is all really important. And I think crucially, I think I agree with that. I don't know what other marketeers in the room think, Alex and Alex. We talk to so many people who tell us most of their business comes from referrals, but none of them ever have a system for it. So they just sit there and wait for referrals to come in, and that is I think is problematic, really. So the point is to really try and get over those sort of those stumbling blocks that stop us from asking for referrals, but build a system, because without a system, as Grant already said, nothing ever happens. So it's quite important. So here is what he talks about in terms of creating a referral system. So there are a number of steps and a number of things you need to look at. The book is more complicated than that. I simplified it, and I'm talking about the ones I used that helped me. So you're very welcome to read the book and look at other things. But so you need to understand your referral number. And I know that Grant has talked about, how many in your business are raising funds, how many are prospects. And that, I think, is obviously it goes out of your customer base. It goes into your entire pipeline and how the numbers work in that. I think it's important to know how many clients do you already have that refer you, and how many, and how many don't. So it's the first step is to understand that and see where you are with that. I think exceeding expectations, not easy to do, because I think what Grind actually said, I like that, is ask your clients what impresses them, because I might think something I'm doing is really impressive and amazing, but clients are just thinking it's run of the mill. You have to do that. So it is quite important to understand how to exceed expectations. Just do it. Don't be a boring business. Yeah, just be different, be somebody that people talk about, because you do stuff over and above the expectations. But it's not as easy as it sounds. Everyone's in customer service. I mean, when I was in sales in big companies, they always used to tell us that everyone's a salesperson. But I looked actually at what the book says about everyone being in customer service. It's so important that the whole team is involved in that they buy into that vision of delighting customers and putting customers first. So I have stopped everyone in the company to joke about any clients. We're not allowed to do that at all. Because I think that's disrespectful to talk about people behind their backs. And I don't care if they cause issues or there is something, it doesn't matter. We don't joke about clients or moan about clients because they pay our bills. So that's something that I've introduced. And I think that that's quite important. But certainly that's something that I think is important if you're going to make it work. Learn to ask for referrals. How do you ask them? At what points? How? Make it easy to refer you. Because, you know, I have learned in life that it doesn't matter what you do, no one understands it apart from you. So, you know, it doesn't matter what your business is about, other people don't understand what you do. So it's not easy for people. You think, well, you know, I do IT support, John, don't I? So, you know, it's easy enough for people to just go and say that I'm great at IT support. But it really is important as part of your system to add that in. And the last thing is to reward people. So he talks quite a lot in the book about the fact that people who are good, people who like to refer and like to help, don't like to get money for it. So it isn't about offering money. And I think often we've all been there where we said to people, yeah, we're happy to pay a referral fee. A lot of people actually are quite embarrassed by that. But if you sent them a nice bunch of flowers or a chocolate or a coffee or a wine, they really like it. So it's finding ways to reward people and to sort of make them know that you've noticed and that you really appreciate it. That's a really key for getting more referrals from people. Once they've referred you once you've got there. So just a bit more information about each step, what we've done. So the referral numbers, similar to what Grind has said, but essentially in the referral engine, he looks at promoters, which are fans, passives, who will, if I went to them and say what you like, they'll say, oh, they're good. Yeah, I'm getting results. I'm happy. But they won't actually go out their way to help. And then there's detractors as well, who will go out their way not to refer you, which is an interesting one. I don't know. I didn't have any like that in my business, but I don't know if you could think of any like that in your business in terms of the different customers you've got. I mean, typically we have less clients. Some businesses obviously have a lot of clients, so you'd have more people. But looking at that, can anyone share their numbers? Would anybody consider, have an initial thought about numbers? How many promoters do you have in your business? What, if you don't want to give numbers, what percentage is it of your client base? Can anyone share? I have to say, when we started, we had one promoter and probably about 5 passives, no detractors. So, not many promoters. It's not easy to get promoters.
So we did this very recently, actually. The whole NPS, I suppose. So it's similar. It's not quite the referrals, but it's similar. The problem is I can't tell you how many actually responded, but actually we got 97% of approval rate.
Oh, that's good.
From the people that. So I couldn't tell you how many of our clients responded, but I do know it's 97%. That actually that said that they would refer us.
Yeah. Okay.
But again, it's data, isn't it? It's testing and measuring it.
It is, and it's also about taking it into the next step. So once people have said yes, they'd be happy to refer. It's about then finding ways to build that relationship, because I do think that there is an element of people saying that because it's a nice thing to say, but whether they're actually going to do that, that's another question. So that's where the system comes in. But it is important to get that verification, because if someone says, look, you're okay, but I wouldn't refer you, you don't want to ask them. So it's good to know where they stand. And we do get people, well, we did have a couple of people who said that, so it's important to know that anyway. So know your referral numbers as a start, sort of get an idea and get some names on there. So not just percentages, just who is your promoter? Why are they their promoters? Your promoter? Why do they like your business? How do they go about doing it? What have you done to help them with that? So that all of these things are really helpful for you to understand. The next step was exceeding expectations. So I'd be really interested in hearing what other people are doing in their businesses, but we did a number of key things. We built our own CRM, not on our own. we got Evergreen to build a CRM for us, which works really well, and it shows our work in a much clearer way. So rather than using a normal CRM, this is a campaign-based CRM, so we can show clients on the dashboard how each campaign went. We can pull really good reporting out of it. We have some clients of your business development team here, so that you're all welcome to say how wonderful our CRM is. And then we also, I went and sort of we recruited account managers. We have a team of 2 now, and every client have an account manager that run the reports with them, that looks after them, so they have a specific point of contact that's dedicated to customer service. We have created detailed monthly reviews and reports, so we've got a process in place, what we go through, what we do. The reports go to a lot of detail, because I think the devil's in the detail in everything, but with lead generation, I just think it's really key, because often people think you're doing nothing. But you are, but they're not seeing it. So it's about sort of showing the good leads and the good conversations we've had, and talking about how we're doing every month with clients, having that conversation and really making sure that people are involved. It's their marketing, their lead generation. And then I also, you'd laugh because you think I've always done it, but I've never ever had performance KPIs for my telemarketing team. So we've never told them what the expectation is. And so since I've done this, we've got a clear KPI, KPI system in place. Every month it gets measured. They get an email saying how they scored against each campaign, and it made a massive difference. I mean, they're all really talented individuals, but until they were told this is the expectation, they didn't know. So that made a difference, a massive difference to us in terms of exceeding expectations, because for our clients, getting results, feeling they're getting results, feeling they're getting something out of it is everything. I think it's true for every business, but with a lead generation business, if you don't get results, you don't have business. So those were the things that we did. That's a couple of examples. Anybody else have anything that they could share, how they exceed expectations in their business?
It is part of what we do. The process that we talk about as Action Coach is that it has to start from within. If you're expecting your customers to see you as exceptional and you don't have exceptional service within, you don't have that integrity. So actually, by creating the internal expectations, this will then start to feed out to your external ones.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think that the one thing we haven't done actually is asked our clients if they think we exceed expectations. So that's going to make it to our customer questionnaire this year, because I do think it's a really good point actually. But I suppose the fact that people are staying with us longer and are feeling happy, which is something that we really do try to ascertain every month with people, it is showing that people are happy with the service and feeling they're getting value. So that's that. In terms of everyone's in customer service, what I've done is kind of recreated our core values. So when I started in business, I always thought this core values and vision was complete rubbish, but I've learned since then that it is really, really important. And so, these are the core values that are on everything that we have, all the internal communications and all our, so when we have meetings, team meetings with the team, and, we always have these and go through them with every new employee and new associate to make sure that it's clear. And I think that this idea of being interested in our clients' business is something that I do drum into our account managers, because it is beyond telling them about what we've achieved. It's really understanding what they're going through, where they are, what makes sense in what's happening in the industry at the moment, really understanding that. And it's so easy to forget to do that in marketing and be so involved in just what you want to do and how you want to drive it and your strategy. But things change. So that's something that I think has made a difference to us. Because especially, with the small business, and I've written them, is it my core values? If you ask my team, will they all be able to recite it? Probably not. But it is about trying to sort of live by those and really sort of, keep a positive approach, always look for a solution. Results is everything they know. If we have no results, we have no business. So this is a massive thing for us. And always be helpful to people, do the best that we can to get a solution, get an answer. And I think supporting each other. I mean, I've really been moved by how one of the girls in our teams lost her mum a couple of weeks ago, and how everyone rallied together to see how they can take her work off her and what can they do. And I didn't ask for it, I feel that some of these things do actually sort of are in the business, which I'm happy and proud of. So that's that in terms of everyone's in customer service. I mean, examples of that can be, people have, some companies have offered people, new recruitees money to leave. So 2 or 3 months salary. I wouldn't do that because I can't afford it, but they offered recruitees some money to leave. If they were to leave now, they get a 3-month salary. Will they leave? And if they leave, then they're not the right for them, not the right employee for them. So there's different things you can do, but that's just an example. In terms of asking for referrals, well, I know that's really hard. And I know that it's not sort of in the culture of a lot of people living in this country. So what I've done, the system I've built starts with a customer survey. So once we've onboarded somebody, we send them an onboarding survey to ask them how their experience was, because we do have an onboarding service that's an onboarding stage that's quite clear. We send out a document to talk to them about everything, so they know what they're to expect, etc., etc. So we ask them at that stage how have they found it, and would they. So we always include that question. 1 to 10, would you recommend us to others? But I don't leave it at that. So if they say yes, I say, okay, well, what would make it easier for you to refer us? And then give them 4 options. So I say, is it easier if we give you an offer that you can offer your clients? If we had a one-to-one and saw how we can give each other referrals, so I give options to people, and then other as well, and just try to see what they say, so I can take it another notch. And I absolutely ask them how to make it easier to refer us. So, is there anything that I can give? Is there any information that we can give? So I actually got a document explaining, some facts about us that people can use, like who we work with, and and we also have a voucher. So if people wanted to give discounts to their clients, we have that. I have spoken to people quite a lot about building a 2-way referral relationship. So I always refer my clients where I can. And that makes it sort of a lot easier then, because it's a giver's gain, like BNI say. But it does build that relationship, and it doesn't mean that you're over there asking for stuff and don't ever give anything back. Regular reminder tools can be your client surveys once a year if you do them, your newsletters with a little button at the bottom saying, here is our offer if you want, for referrals this month. And absolutely additional value. I think that is so key, and there's quite a lot in the book about that. So I really recommend reading that book, as different options about building additional value, and obviously different businesses will do it in different ways. So that's those are just that's the sort of our system, if you like, that we've put in place. In terms of making it easy to refer, this is our voucher. You can see behind there, essentially we have a document that I've created that explains our products, gives them even questions that they can ask in terms of, but that's from years in BNI of trying to help people, ask their clients and help them start referring. So what questions can you ask? What do you listen at to? For us, if somebody is moaning about new business sales, well, great. And people do often moan about them. So if they have moaned about them, can you actually introduce us at that point? Because actually we provide a solution to that. So they might actually be really happy. And we can all offer a free audit or a review. We can sometimes offer a discount initial work. So our voucher offers 50% on our strategy, which is a nice offer that people can give. And useful content, other things that you can provide to sort of support what you do. So those are the things that we've chosen to do to help people. And I've actually had one of our dearest clients that is here today and said that he didn't want to give people that voucher because he felt the strategy is good and he doesn't think we should discount it, which is fair enough. It's a very nice thing to say. But it's there for people if that's easier for them to broach a conversation. And then in terms of saying things, we use Hug. Is anyone who's heard of Hug? It is a platform that allows you to buy stuff like a cupcake for people, a cup of coffee for people, a bunch of flowers, some wine. If you, over Christmas, obviously Christmas presents and stuff like that, there's bigger things that you can buy for your clients, and it's very good for if you've got client base around the country, because you send a link basically and they can claim the reward, the present, and they can have it delivered to their house. They can choose, so if you're giving them coffee, they can choose the type of beans they want, they can choose the wine they want. So it's really nice, very thought through, and you can always also choose to donate for charity. So I have some clients that don't like the fact that they don't want to take a present or whatever, so they'll donate to charity and they love it. So there's lots of options. I really like Hug because of the fact that you can go from really little stuff to bigger stuff, and the easiness in terms of actually sending it across to people. Obviously there's other ways of doing things, other products exist, but Hug is what we use. So it's HUGG Hug.